Good morning, tractor crew. I hope everyone's doing real well out there. So we are currently standing on a piece of very remote property owned by members of my family, and it's been decided, to make a long story short, that it would be better for everyone if there was an off-grid solar cabin approximately right where I'm standing for use as the world out there continues to fall apart. So, Yahweh willing, that's what we're going to be doing today. And so this should be a fun adventure. Now, for those just tuning in, I'm not a carpenter. Regular viewers on this channel will know that. The height of my carpentry experience was building a tool shed, and even that turned out a little bit messed up. I do not have advanced tools. All right, what I have out here is a generator on a trailer. I have the use of one pickup truck, 2 utility trailers, and I did bring the Mahindra up with me. It's about a 40 horsepower utility tractor with a loader on it. So we should be able to use that if things get stuck or if we need to lift things and move things. So what I'm thinking is the cabin's gonna be approximately 8 by 16. It's gonna start pretty much where I'm standing, maybe over this way, a step or so. Needs to be 20 feet on the inside of that property line, according to the zoning people. And I want it to have a porch, and I want it to have a tool shed, and I plan to mount some solar panels on the roof of the, I might have said tool shed, a wood shed, and I plan to mount the solar panels on the roof of said wood shed, and that should power this thing. So I'm really excited. I've spent the last 2 days hauling materials up here, and so the way this is gonna work, at least in my mind, is I'm gonna put down some concrete blocks I picked up, and we're gonna put railroad ties across that and then build on top of the railroad ties. The reason for that, and this is the good news, is because there's a bunch of railroad ties on this property. The bad news is they were dumped in a pasture in that general direction, and no one really seems to remember exactly where, so we need to find those and hopefully start on the foundation. Look at that, we already have leaves starting to change. Autumn up here is probably my favorite time of year. Home sweet home. Check it out, guys. I am always on the hunt for deals. I got these pressure treated 4x6s for like, I think I paid $12 each for them. They were in the clearance section of the store for some reason. One of them does have some cracking and stuff, but the other 2 especially, and maybe 3, are pretty much mint. Oh, what a mess. Okay. These ties were a part of something or other, like a cattle loading deal, I think somebody said, and they took that apart and pretty much just dumped them. I'm told there were 14 of them, 12 or 14 or something. I got 1, 2, 3 that are visible coming in here. And the problem is they dug these out of the ground, or pulled them up with a tractor or something, so that means there's railroad tie sized holes in the ground, and I gotta be careful not, okay, that feels like dirt. I gotta be careful, what the f is that? I gotta be careful not to fall in one of said holes, or else this cabin's gonna get a lot more expensive real fast. Now, I am trying to keep a running tally of how much, okay, that's another railroad tie. I'm trying to keep a running tally of how much is actually being spent on this. I don't know, man, I'm kind of dysfunctional. I might lose track, but I'm gonna try to keep track so I can tell you guys. Dang it. Yeah, they didn't mow this because there's railroad ties out here. And in typical farmer fashion, there's a weed eater, but I can't use it because it's not running. Also, I am gonna struggle filming some of this because I somehow forgot to bring a tripod with me because I'm the world's crappiest YouTuber. Of course, I did not think to bring my pallet forks. Dang it. All right, we're gonna try and make this happen without a tripod. Yeah. 7 mil. There's been FUDs here. But still, we got 5 of them, 16 feet. Let's see, you got 0, 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, that's a 4-foot span. I think wood's probably strong enough to support that. And these things were, I think, 10 feet long the last time we measured them. So hopefully they're still that size. All right, now that was a little bit of a chore, but those railroad ties cost $15 a piece at the local place. So we just saved whatever 15 times 5 is. All right, so, I thought the open side was on the other side. I wanted the open side on the other side. Okay, well, I'll turn it around. Anyway, I did some checking, and at first glance, I thought that this fence here was the property line. I found out it's not. The property line is actually in there where those T-posts are. They built the fence on the inside of that so they could come through and mow and trim trees. And you can see how that went. Oh yeah, that. All right, now I'll show you guys. This is the plan. I bought a bunch of these blocks, and I plan to put the railroad ties across these. I got 5 ties, 4 blocks per tie. That gives the cabin like 20 points of contact across the ground, and so hopefully it won't, be sinking too much. Oh man, how am I supposed to film on this fence post? Oh. Oh, dudes, we got a problem. Dang it. I went out and I measured these railroad ties, and they were like 10 feet and 11 feet. Well, as you can see today, they're only 8 feet and a little bit. The f***ing size changed, and I bought 10-foot lengths of everything. Well, hey, so I just realized something. Looking at all this, I was able to pick up these long 4x6s on clearance, like I said. There's 4 of these and 5 railroad ties. I'm pretty sure I could make these 4 into 5 and then run these across the railroad ties and then build on top of that. It's not ideal, but for how I build things, man, that's not even all that jacked up. I think it'll work too. All right, so cutting around the bad parts on these. Alrighty crew, check it out. We've got not a floor, it's I don't know, something else. So basically the plan is this is going to be the base for all the insulation. You can see I splurged and bought the R30 stuff, and that's 3/4 inch plywood because I'm serious about this not being frigid cold, especially if things fall apart out there to the point where you don't want to be out there getting firewood because fuel's in short supply. If somebody gets injured or something breaks. I wonder what kind of creature that is. then you know, you're really in a bad situation. So, you know, a little bit of extra money for insulation is like paying for 1 million loads of firewood, you know, before you get them and you never need them. So yeah, I guess now we got a frame with all that stuff. Then you eat that insulation in there, then cover it with the actual floor. So that should be fun. See, we got a lip here, and it's not really going. This is where we are right now. So I decided to double up on the 2x, run it on the outside. I don't know how many nails you're supposed to use, so I just used a bunch of them. You know, interesting thing, that's actually the first fasteners I've bought for this project. I found this Gatorade bottle with like 50 million screws in it. So up until this point, that's all I've been using. Unfortunately, it's getting dark out here. So hopefully tomorrow I can come out here and get that insulation in and then cover this thing up and start on the actual walls. This is day 3 of the project. I spent the first 2 days just hauling stuff out here. Might have said that, I don't know, kind of tired. And yeah, onwards!